it's like, what are we even doing anymore? Spend all of our time, energy, and money on a hobby, on a sport, on a lifestyle, that we now have people saying that they don't want us to be a part of it because we don't do it the way they do it. What's going on? You see, when I got into overlanding, it was because I found out that there was something out there that brought together my love for off-road vehicles, for going further than most people want to go, with hiking and camping and all of those things together. So I thought I found my place. You know, self-sustained travel, you know, that leads to destinations most people wouldn't go to. I mean, I know I'm butchering that, but I don't remember in the early days it saying that you had to be gone for a certain amount of time or that you had to cross borders. And when it comes to that, the United States is like bigger than most countries that touch each other like collectively. So it doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's just me. Now, I will tell you that Scott Brady has agreed to come onto the podcast, onto the Overland Radio podcast, to talk about some of the comments that he made in the Overland, or the ex-Overland podcast, about sport off-roaders with tents on top of their vehicles. That they're not Overlanders. They're sport off-roaders. I don't know, we'll see. I also think it's funny that people think that my rant is based on jealousy of production, you know, the money that they have behind their show and magazine, or jealousy behind the amount of influence that they have and the followers that they have. Totally not it. I hope that everybody succeeds. I think it's better for the whole if everybody does well, makes money, creates awareness out there of this thing that we like, so that we can continue to do it and not get things closed. But with that said, I also don't think that any person or group of people should set new boundaries or limits. I just don't remember it only being about crossing borders. It just sounds dumb to me. Again, the size of the United States versus Europe. Like, Europe, anyway, it doesn't make any sense. And when you're talking about the people that said this, get their money off of us, the people that are probably more weekend warriors, or people that get to do it, you know, like for maybe one solid week out of the year, other than their once a month maybe camping trip that they're able to take for the weekend. We're the ones that pay the subscription, buy the magazines, watch the videos on YouTube, like, comment, follow, buy shirts, stickers. That's us. The people that you're talking about, they don't buy that shit. They don't pay those subscriptions. You probably give them to them. So that's where I think it's bizarre that you guys would say stuff like that. Makes no sense. So I'm really not trying to harp on this, or, you know, maybe I'm even wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the way I see it is wrong. But my question would be to everybody that's watching or listening to this is, do you consider yourself an overlander? Or are you a sport off-roader that happens to have a tent on top of your vehicle? Now, I'm going to assume that most of the people that are in here probably don't get to go out for months at a time. They probably don't have their vehicles shipped across, you know, or, you know, they're not going to Mexico all the time, up to Canada all the time. They're probably just going within the United States, and mainly on weekends. And then, like, you know, most of us, maybe we get a week or two that we get to choose to decide to do an overlanding trip with a family, or a family vacation that involves Disneyland or something. You know, you can't just bully your way into the 2-week vacation. So sometimes you only get those weekends. But anyway,
What do you guys consider yourselves? And with that, do you consider yourselves an overlander if you just go out on the weekends? All the gear that you have, the setup, the kind of, I mean, you could say that it's to imitate what an overlanding lifestyle would be. You know, we're weekend landers. You know, I thought that was an accepted kind of term for overlanders that only do it during the weekend. You know, we're overlanders, but we're the weekend landers. We're not the ones doing it for life. You know, we're not a living overlander as far as we don't own a home and all we're doing is traveling by vehicle. Is that overlanding still, or is that something else? Like, if you choose to live it, then is that still overlanding? So is it like anyway? I'll get into this more, I'm sure, if we get Scott on. I think it'd be great to talk to him. Maybe he can change my mind. Maybe not. But anyway, yeah. Sorry to rant about this, but it still just rubs me kind of wrong. Life will go on. It's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those things. Do you ever get those things that you kind of just sticks in your jaw just a little bit too much? Yeah, maybe this is it. I'm sure it'll be gone before it's any big deal, and my opinion or voice won't matter at all, but sometimes I just need to get it out. So thanks for listening. They won't all be like this. But yeah. Anyway, let me know. What do you think? Are you an overlander? Are you not an overlander? How often do you go if you consider yourself one? Or what do you think if you don't consider yourself one? What is the right length or parameters to make it to where you would feel comfortable calling yourself an overlander? Yeah. Anyway, whatever you do, make sure that you guys go all over. See you soon.